Yamato entered the Ginza cafe, dreading the arranged meeting. He saw the red curls first, and his father's warning rang in his skull.
That shade of red, I'd know it anywhere. No, not her. Anyone but the girl who tormented me at 13.
Reina. The name was a scar. In middle school, she led the bullying campaign that forced him to transfer. Her laughter still stalked his nightmares. The shoves, the taunts, the way she made him the school's punching bag until he transferred.
It's you.
Yamato?
She remembers. After 10 years, she still knows my name.
The cafe walls closed in. The clink of porcelain turned into the slam of school lockers.
I'm not doing this. I'm leaving right now, and I'll cancel the engagement myself.
The chair legs screeched as Yamato shoved back from the table. Every patron turned to look, but he only saw red curls and the panic flooding her face.
Wait, please don't go.
Her hand shot out and caught his wrist. The pearl bracelet bit into his skin, like a cold reminder.
Just 5 minutes, then I'll cancel the engagement myself. You'll never see me again.
You think 5 minutes can fix what you did to me?
No, but I've been searching for you for 10 years. I need you to understand why.
10 years? She's been looking for me?
His father's scheme, her trembling hand, the tears welling in those sharp green eyes. It was all too calculated and too raw.
5 minutes. Not a second more.
He lowered himself back into the chair, the scrape of wood on tile sealing the deal. The cafe held its breath.
My father gave me an order when I was 13. Break the Sato boy, he said. Make him transfer.
The memory surfaced, a cold hallway, her back against the lockers, his shadow swallowing her small frame.
You expect me to believe you bullied me on command? Like a puppet?
He said he'd fire my mother from your father's company. We'd lose everything.
Her voice cracked, and for the first time, the confident bully from his nightmares looked small.
That doesn't excuse the hell you put me through.
I know. Every day I've wished I could undo it.
She didn't look away. The silence between them was louder than the cafe's jazz.
Is she lying? Or was she trapped too?
There's more. But I need you to know I never wanted to be that girl. The first day, I tripped you in the hall. Everyone laughed. I laughed too, louder than anyone.
Yamato felt the phantom ache in his shins. The jeers echoed as if 10 years were 10 seconds.
I remember. You made sure no one sat with me for a month.
I'd go home and cry in the stairwell, but the next day I had to be worse.
She was crying too? That doesn't make any of it right.
When you transferred, I felt relief first, then a guilt so heavy I couldn't breathe.
His knuckles whitened against the table. The cafe's jazz dissolved into the roar of old humiliation.
Stop.
He was on his feet again, the chair teetering, but his body refused to move toward the door.
I can't do this.
Before Yamato could bolt, a worn leather journal thumped onto the table. Its pages were swollen with ink and time.
This is my therapy journal, day 1006. I've been writing since I was 17.
The pages detailed sessions, setbacks, and the same names scribbled over and over. Yamato.
I searched for you for years. Every Yamato Sato in every school registry. I needed to say this to your face.
You expect a diary to make up for ruining my school life?
I don't expect anything, but I need you to know I tried. I've been trying for a decade.
This isn't some quick excuse. She's been carrying this.
He flipped through entries. I dream about his face. I wake up and write the apology I'll never get to give.
She's not the same girl, but I'm not ready to call her a different person.
I'm not asking you to forgive me today. Just know the girl who hurt you has been dead for years.
If you hated it so much, why didn't you just refuse your father?
My mother was sick. Her job was the only thing keeping her alive.
An image surfaced. A frail woman in a hospital bed, her hand thin as rice paper, the room smelling of antiseptic and fear.
He said, if I disobeyed, he'd fire her. We'd lose our insurance. She'd die.
A 13-year-old holding her mother's life in her hands.
So I became a monster. It was easier than letting the whole world see me fall apart.
That doesn't make it right.
I know. I'll never make it right. I just needed you to know I wasn't born cruel.
Part of me wants to believe her, but that part is exactly what got me hurt in the first place.
The cafe's noise returned in a wave, but neither moved. The journal sat like an open wound between them. Yamato pushed back his chair and stood. This time there was no screech, no panic, just exhaustion.
I need time. I can't process this here.
I understand. I'll keep my word and cancel everything.
She didn't look up as he passed her. The pearl bracelet caught the window light one last time.
I should feel relieved. Why do I just feel heavier?
Outside, the Ginza evening swallowed him. The cafe's warm glow shrank behind him like a receding accusation. Inside, Reina didn't move. The journal was still open, but her tears finally fell. The engagement was supposed to be settled today. Instead, only the questions had multiplied.
She was a monster. She was a child. She was my bully. She was a victim. I can't hold all of that at once.
The walk home was long, and every step asked the same thing. Who arranged this, and why did his father pick her? By the time Yamato locked his apartment door, midnight had muted the city. He sat on the bed, still in his suit, and stared at the wall.
My father arranged this. He chose Reina specifically. A man like him doesn't make mistakes.
His father was a strategist. Every dinner conversation was a chess move. The engagement paperwork had arrived with a bow, not a warning.
He knew about the bullying. He had to. Why else would he pick the one girl who ruined my life?
A memory surfaced, his father dismissing the transfer as a strategic move when Yamato came home bruised and silent at 13.
He never asked if I was okay. He just said it was taken care of. What if he set this up from the start? I need proof. Someone in that company knows the truth.
The old yearbook lay open on his desk. Reina's handwriting in the margin, a decade-old taunt, felt like a planted clue.
There was an old employee, Takeda, who retired. He always looked at me with pity. He might talk.
He didn't sleep. By dawn, the decision was made. He would dig into his father's past before any cancellation went through. The ramen shop in Shibuya was nearly empty. Taro slurped his tonkotsu, but Yamato only stirred the broth with his chopsticks.
Dude, you've been quiet since you sat down. The meeting yesterday? What happened?
Where do I even start? The woman my father chose, it was Reina. Reina Kurosaki.
The name rings a bell? Wait, the Reina from middle school? The one who? Oh man.
She says her father forced her. He threatened her mother's job at my dad's company. She's been in therapy for a decade.
That's insane. But you didn't just take her word for it, right?
She had a therapy journal, Taro. Pages and pages. But that's not what's eating at me. My father, he knew. I'm sure of it.
Your dad? You think he set this up on purpose? Why?
I don't know yet. But I'm going to find out. First, I need to verify her story about her father's threat.
The Sato Group headquarters rose like a monument to his father's control. Yamato walked through the glass doors with a lie ready on his tongue.
Act like you're verifying internship paperwork. If Takeda still works here, he's my best chance.
A stooped man in a faded uniform paused while mopping the floor. His eyes sharpened in recognition. He whispered, "Little Sato, you've grown. Your father made sure no one ever spoke about what happened at that school."
He knows. My father really did bury the bullying.
Before Yamato could ask more, the man leaned closer, his breath stale. "Be careful. He's watching even now."
He's afraid. My father has everyone afraid.
The janitor shuffled away, the mop skimming the floor like a pen signing a confession.
A janitor from a decade ago remembers. That's not a coincidence. It's proof of a cover-up.
The hallway felt like a cage. One loose word from a forgotten old man had just confirmed his worst fear. Yamato didn't leave. He walked past the elevators, toward the heavy oak door at the end of the hall.
Come in. I was wondering when you'd visit. The Kurosaki girl, I chose her deliberately. A test to see if she had grown worthy.
A test? You used my worst trauma to test her? Who gave you that right?
I built this family. I decide what's best, even if you don't understand.
He's not just covering up, he orchestrated this. Everything.
Don't make the mistake of canceling this engagement. There will be consequences you can't foresee.
I'll cancel it, but on my terms. Not as your pawn, and not as hers. You'll see. I won't be controlled anymore.
The door clicked shut. Inside the study, Mr. Sato's expression didn't change, but his fingers tapped once hard. Yamato texted Reina one line, "In Okashira Park, bench by the pond, 3 p.m." She was already there when he arrived.
You came. I was afraid you decided to disappear again.
Not this time. My father confirmed he set this up as a test. Now I need you to fill in the gaps.
Then you know half the story. My father, he didn't just threaten my mother. He timed everything.
She slid an old family photo from her coat, a frail woman in a hospital bed, a man's silhouette in the doorway, and a date scrawled on the back.
The date my father ordered me to start bullying you. It's the exact day your father's company approved a major merger.
The merger. He's always said that was the year he secured the company's future. He used my suffering as part of the deal.
The breeze stirred the pond's surface. 2 decades of family loyalty curdled into something poisonous.
They used us both. We're not their puppets anymore. We'll make sure everyone knows.
The old middle school's records room smelled of dust and forgotten secrets. Reina led him to a filing cabinet labeled Disciplinary, 20XX.
I searched this room every year after you left. The truth is here. My father's pressure is in the margins.
A yellowed note from a teacher slipped into the file. Reina's home situation is volatile. She acts out under duress. Recommend intervention.
They knew. The school knew and did nothing.
I was a 13-year-old with no way out. I hated myself more than you ever could.
Enough. I believe you, but I'll never forgive what your father and mine did.
He didn't pull her into an embrace, but he didn't pull away. The dusty air held a truce. Attached to the file was an old class photo, Yamato in the back, eyes downcast. Reina's smile twisted into a snarl.
2 kids trapped in a game they didn't understand. Now it ends. We have enough to expose them both. Let's finish this.
The cafe near the school archives was almost empty. Yamato and Reina sat in a corner booth, the tension finally gone.
Thank you for believing me. I know this changes nothing between us. But I have to be honest, these last few days, I've started to feel something I never expected.
Her fingers brushed the pearl bracelet, a nervous habit. Yamato watched the motion, his throat tight.
I've fallen for you, Yamato. Not as a fiancé, not as a debt, just as a person.
She can't possibly mean that. This is just the aftermath of trauma, isn't it? I don't know how to respond. I'm still sorting out which feelings are real.
You don't have to. I just needed to say it. Before we finish this, I wanted no secrets left.
The pearl bracelet lay still outside. The streetlights flickered on. The silence was no longer heavy. It was waiting.
I can't give her an answer yet, but I can't pretend she said nothing either.
Late that evening, a message from his father lit up Yamato's phone. Return to the house. We finish this tonight. The study door stood ajar. His father was behind the desk, an old photo of Yamato at middle school in his hands.
You deserve the full truth. I knew what the Kurosaki father ordered. I allowed it. It became a test. If the girl repented and sought you out, she was worthy of joining this family.
You used my trauma as a sieve? You're not a father. You're a monster.
I gave you closure. She came to you, apologized, and now you can move forward.
He actually believes this was mercy. He thinks he's the hero. I'll cancel the engagement publicly. Every business partner will know what you've done.
Do it, and you lose everything. Not a single yen.
Yamato turned his back. The door slammed shut, and behind him, the sound of a photo frame cracking against the wall echoed through the house. A half-hour later, Yamato found Reina under the flickering street lamp on a side street in Shibuya. Her coat was damp from the drizzle.
What happened? You look like you've seen a ghost.
My father knew everything. He let your father order the bullying. He called it a test to see if you'd repent.
A test. He used my family's ruin as a trial. He's worse than my father.
I'm canceling the engagement publicly. At the family press conference tomorrow. You don't have to be there.
I'll stand with you. After 10 years, I'm done running.
The rain fell harder, but neither moved. The pearl bracelet glistened like a manacle she was finally breaking.
Maybe she's more than an ally. Maybe she's the one person who truly understands.
Tomorrow, we tell the world. No more lies.
They parted with a shared nod. The next sunrise would either free them or cost them everything. The morning sun was sharp, but Yamato felt only cold. He picked up his phone and dialed his father's private line.
This call had better mean you've abandoned this childish rebellion.
I'm canceling the engagement. Reina Kurosaki will never be a Sato. That's final.
Then you are disinherited. No company shares, no Sato name, no inheritance. You'll be nothing.
He thinks nothing scares me more than losing his approval. He's wrong. I'd rather be nothing and free than your heir and a prisoner.
Then you're dead to me.
The line clicked dead. Yamato lowered the phone and for a long moment stared at his own reflection in the dark screen. He walked to the dartboard, where a photo of his father's stern face was pinned. Without hesitation, he threw.
That one was for the 13-year-old who needed a father. I'm done mourning.
Reina slid the shoji screen of her family home shut with a deliberate click. Her father sat in the main room, already pouring himself a drink.
You've embarrassed this family. The Sato heir called off the engagement because you couldn't keep him in line.
He called it off because he discovered you forced a 13-year-old to destroy his life to save your own skin.
I did it to keep our family afloat. Your mother...
Don't hide behind her. You used her illness as a leash. You made me a monster so you could survive the merger.
The old man's hand trembled. For a moment, the room held only the sound of the spilled drink seeping into the tatami.
You owe me.
I'm finished paying. You don't own me. You never will again.
She didn't slam the door. She closed it so gently the wind seemed to do it for her. Inside, her father stared at the untouched drink. The ice had already melted, but he didn't reach for it again. They returned to the cafe where it all began. The same booth, the same jazz, but the air had shifted, the weight of a decade finally lifting.
I heard about the disinheritance. I'm sorry.
Don't be. For the first time in my life, I can breathe without his shadow.
I cut ties with my father tonight, completely.
He looked at her, not the bully, not the arranged fiancée, but a woman who had clawed her way out of hell.
Reina, I'm not ready to say I love you, but I want to see where this goes, not because anyone forced us, but because I'm choosing to.
Is that a date?
A real date. No engagement contracts, no family obligations, just two people having coffee.
She placed her hand in his. The pearl bracelet no longer felt like a manacle, just a bracelet. They were strangers, starting over, and for the first time, that felt like a gift. 3 nights later, Yamato met Reina at a small cinema in Shinjuku. He'd picked a comedy, something without tragedy.
I figured if we can't laugh together, there's no point in trying.
I haven't seen a comedy in years. I forgot what laughing felt like.
In the dark, reaching for popcorn. Their fingers brushed, both froze, then pretended it didn't happen.
This is ridiculous. We survived worse than touching hands over snacks.
Did you just flinch from a popcorn kernel? I'm terrifying, but not that terrifying.
The joke cracked the tension. A genuine laugh escaped them both, startling the couple in front.
She laughs like someone who forgot how, then remembered all at once.
This is... nice. I never thought we could just sit together and feel normal.
The credits rolled, but neither moved. The past had stepped aside, leaving room for the present. They stepped out into the cool night. The cinema's neon glow lit their faces, and without a word, their fingers found each other.
If anyone sees us, the rumors will explode. The disinherited son with the bully who ruined him.
Then we keep it quiet. No posts, no public appearances, just us.
A secret relationship. After everything that feels right, like it's ours alone.
So we're official, a real couple just hiding from the world?
Yes, but where can we go without being spotted? The aquarium has those dark tunnels.
He pictured her silhouette against the blue tanks, fish gliding past like secrets. It was perfect.
This is fragile. But for the first time, I'm willing to fight for something fragile.
They walked on, hand in hand, into a city that didn't know them. The night wrapped around them like a promise. Months blurred. Their secret became a small, precious world of late-night calls and hidden hand-holding in the back of empty trains. But trauma is patient. It waited until he was asleep in her arms, then dragged him back to that hallway.
The floor is freezing. I can hear her. That laugh. It's not Reina, it's the monster again.
He screamed himself awake, chest heaving, the t-shirt soaked. The real world was a lifeline he couldn't grasp.
Yamato, I'm here. Look at me. I'm not her, not anymore.
It felt so real. You were there and I couldn't fight back.
I know, but I'm not that girl. I'm the one who loves you, and I'm not going anywhere.
She held him until the trembling stopped. The pearl bracelet pressed cool against his skin, a quiet anchor.
Every nightmare loses a little power when I wake up, and she's still here. It'll take time, but we have it.
Morning light filled his small apartment. Reina was at the stove, making tea like it was the most natural thing in the world. It was. Later that week, Yamato led Reina through the bustling university cafeteria. He'd texted Taro to meet them, hiding nothing.
He's your best friend. If he hates me, I'll understand, but I really don't want him to.
Taro's different. He already knows our history. I told him weeks ago. He's been asking to meet you.
They found Taro at a corner table. He looked up, saw Reina, and for a half second, his face flickered with 1,000 questions.
So you're the infamous Reina. Yamato's told me a lot, but he also said you're the reason he smiles now. If you make him happy, you're cool with me. Just don't break his heart. I've seen him broken once already.
He's not just accepting her, he's vouching for her. I didn't know how much I needed that.
An hour later, they were still at the table, coffee cups gone cold, Reina laughing at Taro's bad jokes like an old friend. Outside, the campus cherry trees were in full bloom. Their fragile relationship had just put down a root. The knock came on a quiet Thursday. Reina opened the door to find her father, holding an envelope thick with cash.
He's never come to my apartment. Desperation doesn't suit him.
Take it. 1 million yen. All you have to do is leave that Sato boy. Disappear from his life.
You're trying to buy me off after everything you did?
I'm giving you a future. He's disinherited. You'll struggle for nothing. Be smart.
I'm not a commodity. I don't take orders from you anymore.
The envelope was thrust into her hands. She felt its weight, a lifetime of manipulation, then let it drop to the floor.
You'll regret this.
He left without picking up the envelope. Reina stared at the scattered money, a cold symbol of her past. That night, she burned the money in a metal bin behind her building. Flame devoured the crisp bills, and with them, the last thread tying her to his control. Spring arrived again. Yamato walked across the graduation stage, diploma in hand, and caught Reina's bright smile in the crowd.
I landed a job at a small tech firm. It's not the Sato Group, but it's mine.
Then let's find a place together. Not a secret, a real home.
A real home. After years of hiding, we can finally stop.
They scoured listings for a place small enough to afford but big enough for two. A sunlit studio with a tiny balcony became theirs.
It's perfect.
On moving day, they carried boxes up 3 flights of stairs, laughing when a drawer slid open and spilling cutlery scattered. It felt like a gift. That first evening, they cooked together in the tiny kitchen. Nothing special, just rice and curry, but it was theirs. The unpacked boxes could wait. They sat on the floor, backs against the wall, and watched the sunset paint their new life in orange and gold. 2 years after their first real coffee date, Yamato led Reina up a winding path to a hilltop overlook as the sun began its descent.
Where are we going? You've been secretive all day.
Just trust me. There's something I need to show you.
The overlook was empty, bathed in golden light. He turned to her, his heart pounding.
Reina, we were forced together by cruelty, but we chose to stay together out of something real. Every day since has been proof that our past doesn't define us. Reina, will you marry me?
Yes, always yes.
He slipped the ring onto her finger, a simple band that caught the sunset like a promise fulfilled. They kissed as the city lights flickered on below. No contracts, no parents, just 2 people who had finally found their own future. A week later, they gathered their closest friends at a small izakaya in Shinjuku. The lantern light was warm, and the sake flowed freely.
Thank you all for coming. We have news. We're getting married.
Finally, I've been waiting for this since the day you two met at that cafe. Kampai.
We're keeping it small, just family and close friends. But there's one thing we're doing differently.
Our fathers will be invited, but they won't sit at the head table. They'll sit apart, at opposite ends of the room.
That's a heavy statement. Are you sure you want to draw that line so publicly?
We're sure. This wedding is ours, not a pawn for their games. They made their choices. Now they'll see ours.
They finalized the seating chart that night, leaving the head table parents' spaces empty. The invitations went out the next morning. No Sato-sama on the host line, no Kurosaki-sama either. Glasses raised once more. The room toasted not just the marriage, but the deliberate silence where the patriarchs would have sat. In the bridal suite, Reina stared at her reflection. The dress was simple, the pearl bracelet on her wrist, a quiet echo of old promises and broken chains.
I used to wear this as a reminder of my cage. Today, it's just jewelry.
Across the venue, Yamato straightened his tie as his mother watched from a nearby pew. Her silent presence was a gift he hadn't expected. The first to arrive was Mr. Sato. An usher led him to the far left corner of the room, a seat deliberately distant from the altar. Minutes later, Mr. Kurosaki entered. He froze when he saw his counterpart, then stiffly took his assigned place on the opposite side.
She actually did it. She drew the line I always feared.
Reina took a breath. The doors between her and the aisle were the last threshold of her old life. She didn't hesitate.
I see her. My mother, here. After everything, she came.
The room hushed. The fathers sat in their solitary corners, separated by years of control and silence. The empty head table was a statement. The music began. Every head turned. Yamato saw the doors open, and there she was, red curls, radiant, walking toward him alone.
The girl who broke me is walking toward me as the woman who saved me. We made it.
She reached the altar, her emerald eyes never leaving his. The officiant began, but the words faded against the weight of their history.
Reina, from a forced meeting to this altar, we chose truth over lies. I vow to protect our freedom and love you without control.
Yamato, I was a monster because I was trapped. With you, I'm free. I vow to stand beside you, never behind you.
They exchanged rings, simple platinum bands. The metal slid onto fingers once used to hurt, now meant only to hold. They sealed the promise with a kiss tender, hard-won. The small crowd erupted, but for them, the world shrank to each other. In the far corner, Mr. Sato's stoic mask slipped. A single tear traced down his cheek before he roughly wiped it away. Opposite him, Mr. Kurosaki stared ahead, stone-faced, but his clenched fists trembled, a crack in a lifetime of control. The newlyweds turned to face their guests, hands clasped. The ceremony was over, no longer puppets, but partners who had rewritten their fate. The reception hall hummed with conversation and clinking glasses. The head table gleamed under soft lights. two empty chairs at its center. In the far corner, Mr. Sato sat rigidly, his untouched wine glass a silent admission of exile. Opposite, Mr. Kurosaki traced the rim of his glass with a stiff finger. The distance between them was a sentence served cold. Neither man looked at the other. The room celebrated around them, oblivious to the quiet reckoning in the shadows. Yamato and Reina entered to applause. Her hand found his, and for a moment they simply looked at the empty chairs together.
They're in the room, but not at the table. Exactly as we planned.
No more head table for men who played us. Tonight, we sit with the people who actually stood by us.
An empty seat. He has learned to turn my own game against me.
The first speech was from Taro, whose jokes landed like healing. The second was from a friend of Reina's, whose words held no shadows. As the meal began, the empty chairs remained unfilled. The absence spoke louder than any argument could. The fathers were present but powerless. As the meal wound down, Yamato and Reina slipped away to a quiet corner by the tall windows, away from the clatter of forks and congratulations.
Look at them, both fathers in opposite corners like bookends of a story we've finally closed.
They're not the center of this story anymore. We are. And no one will ever use us as pawns again.
From this day forward, every choice is ours. The company, the home, the future. No one else gets a vote.
Agreed. We'll build a life on our own terms. No contracts, no manipulation, just us.
Their hands found each other, wedding rings glinting, the pearl bracelet brushed against his fingers, a final token of a past transformed.
This is what victory looks like. Not revenge, but freedom.
I spent years imagining apologies, but this, standing here as his equal, that's more than any words.
They turned back toward the celebration, no longer separate from the joy but part of it. The reception roared on, but their quiet pact had already sealed the future. The DJ's voice hushed the room, and now, the first dance. A slow jazz standard filled the air as Yamato and Reina took the floor. They moved together, her head on his shoulder, his hand firm on her waist. The years of pain dissolved into the simple rhythm of trust.
All those nightmares, and they led here. Her hand in mine. No fear, only this.
A decade searching for a way to say sorry. I never imagined this would be the answer.
From opposite corners, two solitary figures watched. Mr. Sato's jaw tightened, but his eyes remained fixed, not on the dance, but on his son's peace. Mr. Kurosaki's fist slowly unclenched. He saw his daughter smile, a smile he'd stolen decades ago, and for the first time he did not look away. The song swelled to its final note. Yamato dipped her gently, and when she rose, their lips met in a kiss that sealed their vows once more.
We made it, Reina. Not as pawns, as us.
The applause erupted, but they barely heard it. They only saw each other, the bully who became a savior, the victim who became a hero. Outside the venue, cherry blossom petals drifted in the night breeze. The wedding had been a declaration, but the quiet afterward was a promise. A few mornings later, the newlyweds sat cross-legged on their living room floor. A wedding album lay open between them.
Look at this one. You're crying. I didn't notice that during the dance.
Allergies. But fine. I was just thinking about how we almost walked away at that cafe.
She turned the page to a photo of the empty chairs at the head table. The silence in the image was louder than any applause.
We'll never need to prove anything to them again. This quiet, this is enough.
No more tests. No more pawns. Just breakfast for two, and maybe a cat someday.
They spent the afternoon sorting the rest of the photos. Some for frames, some for a secret box of memories they'd show no one else. By evening, the frames were in place, the cafe where they'd first met, the park bench, the overlook at sunset, each a milestone. Yamato slipped his arm around Reina. Through the window, the city lights flickered on, ordinary and finally theirs. The letter arrived on a Tuesday, addressed in his father's stern handwriting. Yamato held it at arm's length, as if it might burn.
From him? What do you think he wants?
Probably an apology wrapped in conditions, or a demand for gratitude.
You don't have to read it today, or ever. We've already won.
Yamato turned the envelope over. The seal was unbroken, but the choice already felt made. He placed it in a drawer beside an old photo, a young Reina from middle school, the one she'd given him on the day they first truly spoke.
That girl is gone, and the man who wrote this letter, he's not my future.
He turned back to the kitchen, where Reina was already making tea. The ordinary sounds of their morning surrounded them.
I'm proud of you, not for fighting, but for knowing when to stop.
The letter sat in the drawer, unanswered, as they ate breakfast together, the peace of a normal morning worth more than any apology. That afternoon, they stepped out of their small house into the sunlit lane. The path ahead was empty, and it was theirs. They walked without a destination, not fleeing the past but leaving it behind. The gravel crunched under their shoes like old bones. Cherry blossoms drifted across the trail, petals catching in Reina's fiery curls. She laughed, and the sound was free.
I used to think happiness was something to earn back, but it's just this.
No debts, no tests, just us, and a path forward.
Their hands intertwined, wedding bands glinting under the sun. The pearl bracelets swayed with each step, no longer a weight. They paused at the crest of a small hill, looking out over a city that had witnessed their worst and their best. The wind carried cherry blossoms around them, a silent ovation. They turned toward the long road ahead, no longer looking back. They walked on. The future was unwritten, but it was finally theirs to write. Cherry blossoms filled the screen, then faded to white.